All right, friends, quick overview of the do now today. First off, let's write an equation of this function right here. So I'm really asking myself, where's the baseline, where's the amplitude? And I've already color-coded it. I know that the baseline of this function is at +2, so that means we shifted up 2 units from 0. I also know that from 2 to 4 is 2, and also from 2 to 0 is 2. So my total distance I'm traveling is 4 units, but when we cut that in half, I know that my amplitude is going to be 2. Since it takes from my baseline to the top and from my baseline to the bottom 2 units. Rank the following in order from least to greatest. I know that sine of 1 degree, right, if I'm looking at my unit circle, 1 degree is, wow, it's not beautiful, is right here, and my sine value is going to be very close. I'm going to say approximately 0. Sine of 3 pi over 2, so remember we're going, so here's 1 degree, let's go all the way to 3 pi over 2, and our sine value is about 0. Sine of 3 pi over 2 is going to be -1. And then sine of 7 pi over 6, I know that this is going to be just a little bit more than pi over 6, so let's get, this is -1, and then 7 pi over 6 is going to be pi over 6 more, which is going to put us at, let's look at, that looks to be about -1/2. So from least to greatest, our lowest value is going to be 3 pi over 2, because -1 is my smallest. My next smallest value is sine of 7 pi over 6. And then I have sine of 1 degree. And we can even put inequalities in there if you want. A trig function is given by the equation y equals 2 cosine of x. What is the average rate of change on the interval 0 to pi? So let's plug in these values. If I plug in a 0, I get 2 cosine of 0. I know, whoops, cosine of 0, not cosine of theta. I know that cosine of 0 is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. So my ordered pair is going to be 0, 2. For pi, let's get that here, 2 cosine of pi. I know that my cosine value at pi, if I go to pi right here, my x value is going to be -1. So 2 cosine, or 2 times -1, because cosine of pi is -1. And so my next ordered pair is going to be pi -2. When I plug that in to my y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you should get -2 minus 2 over pi minus 0, and we're just going to leave pi in there. So I'm just going to say it's -4 over pi and leave it at that, and that is totally fine. G of x is cosine of pi x, and f of x is represented by the table g of f of 2. So remember, we always start on the inside of these guys, so we're going to do f of 2 first. The value of f of 2 when x is 2, f of 2 is 2. So I'm really looking for what is g of 2. If I plug this into my function, I know that g of 2 is going to be cosine of pi times 2, or cosine of 2 pi. Thinking back to my unit circle, I know that's 1 full rotation, and cosine of 2 pi is going to be +1. So I'm going to say g of f of 2 equals +1. And we're done.